Hey guys, we're live. Sorry I'm late. It's about 10 minutes past 9. My morning got away from me and I lost track of time. It happened, and quickly glanced into my phone and realized, holy man, I gotta move. So, sorry. I do apologize. Hopefully some of you hang in there and waited for me to show up. Anyway, how's everybody doing? This is Mind Over Matter. My name is Jamie, as it says, down here. Jamie. Or maybe it goes this way. Or doesn't matter. Today I want to talk to you about, actually, again, as I think I mentioned last night, for any of you who were there last night, I kind of had an idea, but then I was debating both last night and this morning about whether I was going to switch plans. I need to close this window. It's very humid here today. I think we're going to have a pretty wicked thunderstorm later. So, Thunder Boomer. I really think I want to concentrate on the video kind of mindset. I mean, it's not really just a video mindset. I mean, it applies across the board. But, there's so many advantages to doing video and so few people doing them, which is why it's so easy to get ranked. I touched on it yesterday in the Wednesday Night Warrior, just on some of the benefits and simplicity. But I'm not here to sell you on video marketing. I think I'm here more to talk to you about the mindset of what it takes, what you're up against. I mean, a lot of people have fear of. I don't really want to get into. I'm not going to go into too much detail, only because some of you probably were on the show yesterday, so it just could end up being a little bit redundant, which I don't want that to happen. If anybody has any questions that they may not have asked yesterday, if you happen to be here, feel free. Maybe how you get over it or how you challenge yourself to bust through. One of the things that I noticed in Steven's calendar was he has scheduled time for mindset. I don't know that I've seen too many other people who have written out a calendar or schedule of work to do, a schedule of a plan, an action plan, right? When he's going to market, where he's going to market, what kind of marketing he's going to do, and then right there in a little blurb, it's usually first thing in the morning, I noticed, was mindset training. He's reading a book and listening to an audio every morning before he starts his day. So the first thing he does in his schedule is read for half an hour, and the second half an hour is in audio. That is it's brilliant, because we have to be constantly. I've talked about this before, but I have to protect your mindset and how you have to really, protect it like it's a child, and that nobody can touch it, nothing, nowhere. We would do anything, lay down our own lives for our children, right? But yet we don't protect our mindset. We allow people to talk negative into our life. We allow people. I once heard a phrase: you need to be careful who you allow to talk into your life. Now that doesn't mean there's people you don't ever speak to. I mean, it could be that, depending on the severity of the negative person, but as a general rule, you have to be very cautious about who gets to influence the way you think. A lot of times it's just a matter of nodding and going, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Don't engage the conversation. I'll tell you this right now. If you're surrounded by, or if you find yourself, I mean, anybody here who has a job of any kind, you're likely surrounded by negative people, because generally speaking, people in jobs they have a pretty negative outlook on life. Not all of them. I have a cousin. She's very much in love with her job. She really likes what she does, and whenever I talk to her, nothing but good things. She considers having sore feet at the end of the day that she's done. Her evaluation of having sore feet is that she had an incredibly great day of taking care of customers and working hard. In her mind, that's fantastic. But it's a mindset. Because I can come across the next person who says, oh, my feet are sore, boo-hoo, so on my feet all day, blah, blah, blah. I have to listen. But see, I'm just sort of making up those words. I'm just throwing them out there because I don't allow people of that nature to talk into my life, so I don't actually absorb any of the information that they're giving me. So I can't give you an example. I give you an example of my cousin because it's a positive example. That's the example I keep in my mind. That's the example that I pull from. That's the example I draw to when I'm having a sore body day. I draw from my cousin's input and not from Joe Schmo who's whining about his feet. Right? That's what talk into your life refers to. I'm out of water here, and I feel like I should go grab some, but I don't want to leave you guys with a big blank screen. So the you have to be careful who you allow talking to your life. So you know, to circle back about the video concept, it's really just a, you know, there's a certain, think about a radio announcer. You know, they're just sitting in a room by themselves. They don't have little viewer windows on the side when you're doing a hangout that tell you how many people are here. They don't have you know, chat windows. What they gotta do is make people call in. You know, sure, the phones light up when they ask for somebody to call in, but consider this: they just sit there talking to themselves for the whole time. You know, so turn your monitor off if you want. Like, you know, if you're concerned about how you look on your phone, on your webcam. I mean, we all have cell phones, right? So, or most people do anyway. They take video too. So it's so easy to get video done without any kind of effort. You know, like it's just it's very, very simple. The mindset of it all, it's a fear. It's a, you know, fear, and usually fear is born out of confidence, right? It's false evidence appearing real. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but fear, you know, the acronym, false evidence appearing real. The false evidence is that, you know, you're going to look silly, or that you're going to sound funny, or that you're going to, I don't know, those are really the only two, I think. Well, people often worry about what's going on back here, too. Like, you know, I got, you know, stuff hanging on the wall and whatever, and clearly I'm a hockey fan, and if you hadn't guessed, I'm a Devils fan, but, and, you know, those things inspire me, too, that, you know, but it doesn't really matter what's happening back there either. You know, Paul's got some nice, I've seen, you know, most of you on here will have seen some videos that Paul's done, and you'll see he's got some nice photos on, pardon me, he's got some nice photos on the wall. He's got, it doesn't matter though. It's all up here. It's all up here. And I'm not the first person to say any of this stuff. Like we talked about Jim Rohn yesterday. I mean, he talked about doing presentations in front of a live audience. So there's now 100, 300, 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 people in front of you. Okay, that's some scary stuff. that right there is going to be. I mean, I've had to do some small venue stuff. I did a presentation in Las Vegas a couple years back, and it was a little bit nerve-wracking, to say the least. But I did it. Was it my best work? Nope, it wasn't. But I do it again in a heartbeat. I haven't had an opportunity to do it again yet, but if I was asked, I would definitely do it at any time. So, because I know that each time I do it, I'm going to get better at it, right? So it's conquering that little bit of fear to, because I know the net result is going to be a better quality product in the end. So if your mindset is, well, I'm going to make sure everything is perfect, the background's perfect, my clothes are perfect, my face is all perfect, my hair's perfect, my voice sounds perfect, the camera's just positioned just right. Oh, a little, no, maybe just a little bit. Maybe a turn. No, oh, there, perfect. Pardon me. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff trying to get your everything perfect, and then you'll stumble on your words, and some of you want to write the perfect script. That's all up here. It's just every time you add an excuse, and that's what they are. They're excuses. If you can find one reason, A reason and an excuse are very different things. If you can find a reason why you can't do a video, then that could be valid. But if all you have is excuses, it's how to overcome them. An excuse is something that you sort of layer on top of one another. Oh, okay, well, you know, okay, now I've got my shirt right. Okay, my face is done. Oh, now there. Okay, now the camera's just right. Oh, well, that picture's crooked on the back wall. Oh, wait a minute, then this, and then, you know, before you know it, you're in over your head. That happened by accident, by the way. You're in over your head, and you don't do a video. It's all up here. You know, every time you add a layer, it's up here. It's the fear saying, oh, wait, we better add this. Oh, we better add this. Oh, we better add that. You don't need any of that. None of it. Just do it. And we talked about yesterday, you don't have to be in front of the camera. You know, if you don't have to be doing this, it's pretty easy, but I get that there's a fear factor. Don't write a script. Just know what you're going to talk about. I don't have a script for this. I had some notes jotted down, and I'm completely off course anyway, so it doesn't matter. Just, you know, talk from the heart. Make sure you know what direction. Know who you're talking to, what you want to say, and what you're trying to accomplish. Those three things, and you're good. And then say everything else. Say anything else you want in between. Just fill it, right? It is a mindset, guys. It really is. I mean, I know that your mind will lie to you, and your brain will lie to you, and you might say, oh no, it's not just a mindset, it's this, it's that, and then you'll have a whole bunch of reasons. I'm telling you, I'm not a psychologist, I don't claim to be one, but I'm telling you right now that it's up here. The only reason why you haven't made a video. The only reason why anybody hasn't made a video. Because it is not hard. It's easier and quicker to make a video than it is to go and create an entire PPC campaign. It is to run 50 Facebook ads in 50 groups, to run a crap load of free classifieds, to run or fire off however many safe lists. I mean, Natalie, who has become a premier safe list. I mean, it's one of her dominant skill sets, and because she worked at it, she didn't wake up one day and was a safe list guru. She worked her butt off to get to that point. But at the same time, it takes her a couple of hours to get that done. Well, in a couple of hours, you can launch 5 videos. Those 5 videos are going to get actual traffic. The 2 hours of safe lists will get you some traffic, but based on who decides they want to open your email. If they want to open your email. You know, it depends on what day, time, whatever. A video goes up. There's people searching for stuff all the time. All the time. There's over 10 million people searching for work from home style phrases every month in North America only. So do you want to send an email to a bunch of people who are on a list? And again, don't take this the wrong way. Allow your mindset to hear me here. By me saying this does not just downgrade safe lists. Safe lists work, they're effective, and they get the job done. They do have a lot of work behind them. That's all there is to it. I mean, I can't candy coat that any other way. And you're sending emails to people who are on a list specifically to receive emails so that they can click them to get more credit, so they can send their emails to people who already get emails, who want to get the emails so they can click. Do you see the cycle? I mean, there is certainly a certain percentage of them that are actually reading the emails. See, me, when I use SafeList, never read an email. Because the method that I use and I've taught in the directory of SafeList is a style whereby I don't actually ever see the email. I literally have about 50 tabs open, and it's just a matter of opening email, opening email, opening email. I turn my volume off because there's so many emails that have a video. So many emails in SafeList that have videos in them now that I get to a certain point where I have 5 or 6, 7, 8 videos running at the same time. It's kind of mind-numbing. So I turn my audio off and I just click, 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 click. close, 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 click, 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 close, 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 close. So I'm not actually looking at any emails. So if you had something that would change my life forever, I would never see it if it came in a safe list, right? If it came in a autoresponder series, I'd see it. I'd look at those. If it was a video that I found because I was searching for something else, I'd watch it, might click it, but at least I'm in the wheelhouse of clicking your link. Do you see what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's a mindset, guys. I mean, I can't stress it enough. I know Benny I can't even talk today. He popped up the, oh, that's what I didn't do. Hold on a sec here. I'm going to switch that. But then I put in there false evidence or false events appearing real. Yeah, I guess we could go that route. I like evidence better personally, just because, you know, people tend to use evidence to build their case, right? They take little pieces of information here, information there, information there, information there, and that's how they build up their fear of doing something. Fear of making that video because I don't look right, I don't sound right, I don't this, I don't that. But piece of evidence, another piece of evidence, another piece of evidence, another piece of evidence, and then it's all false evidence because it's completely irrelevant. Based on the explanation that I had yesterday of Paul Bursall eating chips on a video. Really? Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. You know, Paul's got a mindset that his mindset is that, you know, anything's possible, and he's just going to do it whatever. Does this work? If you ask him, quite frankly, hey, should I eat a bag of chips and point at the bottom like you did? He will say, I don't know. Before he did the chip video, he didn't know if it would work. He just did it anyway. Mindset. He believes it's going to work before it starts, so a lot of times his stuff works. I mean, I put a post in the Facebook group the other day. You know, whether you believe you can or you can't, or whether you believe the global online franchise will work or won't, you're right, and it will impact your every action that you take, because whatever you believe is where you're headed. I was watching something yesterday, and they talked about the moments of decision, and you know, we probably face these moments of decision all the time, and not probably, we do. We're facing moments of decisions at every turn, all day long. It's part of the choice, you know, the gift of choice that we have. And in these moments of decision, your destiny is shaped, right? So every time you're making a decision, you're really shaping the course of your life, really. I mean, how many people have listened to, they've been to a presentation, they've been to a sales, whatever, whether it's network marketing, MLM, online, whatever. The guy you're listening to says all the right things, you feel like he's talking right to you, and you know, and in that moment of decision, you decide that you're going to dismiss your disbelief and think to yourself, this just might work. And so you say, yeah, screw it. I'm just going to throw in $300 and I'm going to join. That's a moment of decision that's shaping your destiny. And it's also a moment in time whereby you dismissed your disbelief for just a moment. Because there's something in the back of your head that's saying, hey, man, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You've foreseen these things before, they don't work, blah, blah, blah. But then all of a sudden you do. It's a moment of decision. And you have to be strong on those. A moment of decision can completely transform an entire community. Like it's a little bit of a deep concept, and I don't suppose I'll get into it all the way here today. But I mean, you think about a timeline, and you know, everything happening along a timeline. That if you extract any one of those pieces in a timeline, that you know, things don't work out the same way. Like here, I'll give you an example on my own life. I mean, when I was, the reason I reconnected with Paul, because Paul and I knew each other like a long time ago. He's originally from Manitoba, so he lived in Winnipeg for a long time. I was working for him, actually in his office, before he was internet savvy and it was all mail order stuff. And I mean, even at that time, the door was kicked open for me to see the potential of what was going on, and I didn't even see it because I was so focused. I was in school at the time. I had gone back to school, so my focus was off. And what I did was, and so then, we kept in contact. It's not like we didn't talk or anything, or we, disappeared off the planet. We were always in fairly regular communication. And then I was actually hit by a vehicle on the job that I was doing. Like, I was outside of my truck, loading my truck, and a vehicle backed up and just missed hitting me directly by about 6 inches. And then it was in the winter, so there was ice on the roads. So his vehicle then slid on the ice and swung around and sort of went like this up against my vehicle, and I managed to get out of the way before he would have pinned me there. And then he proceeded to. But anyway, he did bump me on the way by. Like, I sort of bounced off his truck and off my truck, and then I ended up on the ground behind my truck. So luckily, I got out from getting squished. But anyway, point being is I damaged my knee at the time, and I couldn't work for 3 months, I think it was, because the job that I was doing required a lot of crouching and crawling around on the ground, and fun stuff. So at that time, I reconnected with Paul, and that's kind of what sent me on a path that put me where I am today. Again, there'll be people that don't necessarily believe what I have to say, but again, not my concern. The being hit by that truck is actually part of the timeline that gets me here. I mean, the door was open back probably a few years earlier when a number of years earlier when I was working with Paul directly in his office. That's when the door originally opened, but then of course I quickly closed it like a dummy. And then it took being hit by a car to crack the door open again. So, but I couldn't really work, so I was sitting at home all the time. So I decided to get back on the computer and spend some more time learning some new skills. And but that's the mindset, though. You have to really, you have to be open. You have to have your brain ready to absorb new information. See, I didn't have a good mindset when it happened originally. When I was sitting in the same room with Paul for every day for 5 days a week. Big closed door in here. Mindset completely screwed up. I hadn't been reading books. I'd given up on all that, right? I mean, it was, I was, whatever. You don't need all the gory details, but the bottom line is that my mindset was not right. And I, sort of gave away an opportunity that was laying right in front of me. It was there. I mean, I had the Paul Birdsall before he was a multi-billionaire, well, millionaire. Before he was, within like touching distance, like he was. I could, high five him every day if I wanted to. But if your mindset isn't ready and isn't prepared to take the information and shut down all of the crap that is coming at you, you might miss out on something. So with the global online franchise that you have here, not everybody's going to see it, but you should be announcing it to the world, which happens to be, what the advertising and marketing is all about. And just letting people get in, and hopefully their mindsets are open and ready and see what's happening. And if not, well, it's their loss, and you have to move on and find the people who do, because you want to work with the people who are just cruising or moving on, right? I do apologize for the lateness of. I'll apologize again for the lateness of my show. I appreciate any of you who were patient enough to hang in there. Good. I mean, I would say that would be another good mindset. I mean, I'm sure some of you were starting to get frustrated and wonder if that's going to show up or not. I'm going to give 5 more minutes and then I'm out of here. But hey, I appreciate you guys hanging around. Does anybody have any questions? Please feel free to fire them off there, because I've been rambling for about 20 some odd minutes now, and I don't want to keep you guys too long, because normally I would have been done probably about 5 or 10 minutes ago. So feel free to fire off. What I want to, while I'm waiting on whether or not some questions will come in, I'll just say that what I want you guys to do, taking away from, sort of the takeaway from today, and what I need you to do is I need you to really put some effort into your mindset training. Hopefully all of you already have an action plan, which will make this much easier, because then all you need to do is look at your action plan and figure out where you can put some mindset books, audios, one or both. I recommend both, but I'm not gonna say you have to have both. It's in your best interest to have both, but again, I can't make you do anything. Mindset, but get it in there. Create a spot in your action plan that is all about you and your mindset. I mean, if you want to take it one step further, I would even say, as far as put into your action plan, 15 to 20 minute walk. And you're like, what? What does that have to do with anything? I was just going to help my business. The studies on walking and how it affects the mind and its ability to be. There was a study done once about walking and the way you breathe. There's a certain in the bridge of your nose. There's a certain can't describe it now properly, but the way you breathe. Because when you're running or you're playing a sport or whatever, you breathe too heavy, so it doesn't engage this little sort of piece up in the bridge that gives oxygen directly to the brain. And generally when you walk, you're at the pace where that opening is at its max, it's like sort of at the sweet spot, so to speak, so that the oxygen flow to the brain is bang on. So there's a lot of the studies of the brain have done that. After walking or during walking, there's this. It's almost like a sense of calm, and it's like a sense of clarity. So a lot of time people who do a lot of walking find that they're some of their best thinking times. So it might be part of the process for you to get your mind right is 20-minute walk, 30 minutes of reading, 30 minutes of audio, and there's a little bit of an hour and a half of your day, but you can do it at the beginning. It doesn't have to all be, pardon me, it doesn't have to be like Sadler's, where Sadler, I guess I should call him Steven. It doesn't have to be like Steven's, where he does reading then audio. Like, you can break it up however you want. It's your action plan, remember? So I see somebody type something here. I have no problem in shutting down the crap. It's just having the hours to dedicate. Need to use wisely. Oh, I see. I suspect, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this person is their time is a little bit tighter, so they have a little bit less free time. And that makes sense. Most people do, especially when they're starting out part-time, right? The magic of part-time. When you're doing the magic of part-time, is fantastic, right? It's a great part of how you tell your story to people about you're working full-time on your job and part-time on your fortune. It's just magic part-time is amazing. And you're absolutely correct. You need to use it wisely. That is where the action plan comes in. You have a actual set schedule. It's not just, okay, I get home from work at 5, somewhere between 5 and 8, I'm going to do some marketing. Because the crap that you're referring to will win. You're bombarded with this. You're bombarded with so much stuff trying to prevent you from getting to where you want to go, and not intentionally preventing you. Just it happens. Oh, a phone call, or this or that. Neighbor down the street comes knocking on the door, whatever. Hunker down in your office, close the door. And I know in my home, when the door is closed on my office, it means I'm working. So then my family, my teenage children, my wife, if they need something from me, they have to either A, knock on the door or send me a message on my phone to see if they can talk to me for a minute. And if I don't answer or don't answer my phone, then they leave me be because the door's closed, so I'm working. But that's how you have to sort of, you know, when you work from home, and if you're doing it part-time, you know, people, especially if you're just starting to do this, because people aren't saying, well, what are you doing now all of a sudden? What are you doing? You know, suddenly you're sitting in front of the computer? Like, what? I don't understand. You know, so it's, you kind of have to carve out that time, and you have to be diligent about it. What I said earlier about protecting it, that's an important piece of your action plan, an important part of your schedule is what you're doing here. I mean, you guys all I carved out a time and said 9 o'clock Thursday. That's what I'm doing, right? Yeah, I was late today. I get it, but that's what I'm doing, though, right? So then you guys, if you want to be here, like live, then you need to add it to your schedule, and then you commit to showing up, and you are here. So clearly you can do it. But this one here is me saying you need to be here at 9 o'clock. You see the difference? I'm saying you need to be here at 9 o'clock on every Thursday morning if you want to talk, if you want to see me live. And you guys say, okay, I want to be there. Or maybe, you know, he's a kind of a goofy guy and he says funny stuff. Every now and again he says something important and I write it down and it helps me. Like, you know, whatever your reasoning is, you decide to show up here. But it's my time. I decided what time it was, right? So, and I can relate to the challenge because when I'm working, I work from home, so I could get off this video and go sit on the couch. Oh, but what does my schedule say? Well, at 10 o'clock I need to be doing this, which I'm going to take a quick peek, see what time it is. It's 9:45. So I'll wrap this up pretty quick. But so I could sit and look at my schedule. Okay, 10 o'clock I start marketing PPC. And that's not what it says, by the way. I'm just throwing it out there. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, your schedule is what keeps you online. So if you're working part-time and you're pulling this off outside of a regular job, then if you get home at 5 o'clock, you could put in your schedule supper from 5 to 5:30, or supper's at 5:30. So at 5 o'clock, you could race into your office, go straight in there, and spend 25 minutes because you want to come out of your office before supper's ready, and so you can sit down at the table. So from 5 to 5:25, you're going to answer emails. Not surf Facebook, not check on your PPC campaigns, you're not going to piss around for 25 minutes. You're going to say, for 25 minutes, I'm going to check email. Now, if you check and you've only got 3 emails, great. That might take you 5 minutes, so now you got 20 more. Now you can backfill, right? Exactly. Don't let yourself being sidetracked, right? That's the key, and that's why the door's closed. Because then I can't hear the TV in the house. I can't hear what the family's talking about. I can't hear the dog. I can't hear anything. I'm in my office. So I don't get distracted by, you know, the conversations they're having, or, you know, I can hear them laugh from time to time because, you know, they're having a good time out there, but I can't hear the conversation, so it's not distracting to me. I work during the day most of the time when there's nobody here, but pardon me, there are some evenings that I do actually work too, because every now and again you get an idea, or you get inspired, or you need to talk to somebody on the phone because it's the only time they're available. You know, whatever. It doesn't make a difference, but I schedule those things too, though. I don't just randomly sit down. There are some. So anyway, you schedule it in. I mean, you might be sitting on the couch one evening and you have scheduled, like, let's say, family time, like I sometimes have, but I have teenage kids. They just, you know, toddle off with their friends pretty quickly. You know, they're gone, and so now I've got, my wife needs to take the dog for a walk at some point, so I'm like, well, maybe I'll just go work. So now I can do whatever I want. I can, you know, putt around. This is what I try to do. It doesn't always work. But when I sit down for one of these pop-up sessions, these random sessions, I try to look at the time that I'm starting, try and set a, you know, a couple-hour window or a 1-hour window, and decide what I'm going to do in that time and write it down, and then work on that. Instead of hitting the computer with random ideas. It's all about organizing your mind and not allowing the negative influences to, you know, win, ultimately. So if you aren't reading a book right now, go get one. talk to your mentor, talk to somebody that you trust in the business world who will give you a book that will help you grow. Find some audios. YouTube is a cornucopia of videos. I would start with Jim Rohn if you haven't heard anything by him. There's anybody out there that's really great, but give yourself find about an hour and try and fit in anything from walks, reading, audio. All three of those things are critical to keeping this sucker on the up and up. I don't see any more questions, so I will just sort of shut her down and let you guys know that I very much appreciate you. What's going on here? You're in the UK, I'm 6 hours ahead, so this time is fine, but 2 a.m. is not. That's right. Well, 9 a.m., 6 hours, what does that follow? So it's like supper time where you are now, right? It's supper time in the UK. So yeah, then I will definitely let this go so that you can get back to your dinner. At any rate, thank you again for your patience at the top of the hour because I was late, and I appreciate you guys hanging around and spending some time with me this morning. I hope that I was able to crack the egg a little bit and give you a little piece of information and some stuff that you can move forward with. All right, guys, have yourself an awesome day.